Hey guys, what is up? Today marks another weekly review of Tanaka-kun is Always Listless. And in this week's episode 9, we're at McDonald's. Well, they don't actually use the name. If you watch a lot of anime, you know they can't use like big corporations or franchises' actual name. So in case that they don't get the copyright issue on them and that sort. So they called it McDonald's, but I'm calling it McDonald's because that's how I always known it as. So that's where the main setting of this week's episode was for Tanaka and Ota. We get introduced to a new character who I'm going to later reveal what her connection is to our two main characters. So Tanaka and Ota, they go to McDonald's, and Tanaka sees like a poster ad saying that they are having a toy set. Like, you know, they give toy sets at McDonald's, and this toy set was a wireless home cleaner, like those type of cleaners that like you charge them and they clean around the house, and if they bump into another object they just turn around to the opposite direction. That was the type of thing that they were selling, and Tanaka really wanted that. So that was his whole purpose of going to McDonald's, because originally he never wanted to go into such a busy and crowded and loud place, because knowing how that is a complete opposite of how Tanaka is, he would not feel comfortable going there. But he went there, and at first he was not able to get the toy, so he was disappointed. And the person that was working there, she felt kind of threatened because Tanaka looked sad, and she's thinking he's glaring at her, and then she's thinking that Tanaka is sending Ota after her because Ota is looking the same way too. But she's becoming paranoid, and Tanaka finds himself actually liking being at McDonald's because the workers are very nice, the place is very clean, and he finds the atmosphere very soothing. Sometimes I kind of beg to differ on that. Not all McDonald's are like that, but for the sake of this anime, let's just say this is the perfect type of McDonald's, and it's not overly crowded, and it's like a safe haven for Tanaka. But that's not always the case in real life. So they go back a second time, and the same worker, she finds that they're not really people that's going after her. She finds them to be really nice people. So they go back a second time, and this time Ota, he ends up forgetting his phone at the school, so he has to leave Tanaka. And then we're introduced to this new character who is actually Rino's best friend. We saw her in the openings, but now she's finally introduced. She goes by the name of Saya, and she's the best friend of Rino. So Rino is Tanaka's younger sister. So they go there, and they're talking, and they're introducing each other, and they're talking about how like big brothers are always protecting little sisters. And Saya explains her brother's like his strength is like that. If you put it on a scale of 1 to a level 5 gorilla, what's his strength? And he's a level 3, and she called him a gorilla in a way. But it was very nice to see these siblings talk. And if this connection wasn't obvious the minute you saw her, well, we saw where Ota came back, and it was revealed that Saya is his younger sister. So I also found it pretty cool in a sense that two pair of siblings are actually best friends, Ota and Tanaka, and Saya and Rino. The only difference between them is this so-called rivalry, or this grudge that Rino has against Ota, because she feels that he is interfering in her relationship with her brother. She kind of has a brother complex, so do excuse her for that. She's the one always taking care of Tanaka, and she feels like she's supposed to be the only one to do so. So, like, that's going to be the thing of when these two pair of siblings come together. That's going to be the running joke, that Rino's going to try everything to, push away Ota away from her brother. But at the same time, Saya admires her Rino's brother because he looks like a prince. So it ends off with them introducing the siblings with each other, finding out they're actually best friends and such, and hopefully building up a better relationship with each other. So it was like going to McDonald's, and then we find out we have a new character for this week. So that was basically the gist of this entire episode. It was pretty calming and also funny at the same time with the introduction of Saya. She's not really all that different compared to Ota. The only difference is that she's a little bit more shy and reserved, but she is a pretty caring character, especially when it comes to her sibling and her friends. So I hope to see more of her as the episodes go by, if at least one more time before the series ends. So if you saw this week's episode of Tanaka-kun is always listless, do tell me in the comment section below on what you thought about Saya's character introduction in this week's episode. The links are in the description box, so you guys go check that out. And I'm Kimmy Chan of Anime Legends Podcast, and I will see you guys later. Bye!